Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to deep dive the new event that's upcoming here called Old Enemies, as we saw detail from the Marvel Strike Force blog post yesterday. But more importantly, this is actually going to be the event that's tied back to a few things that you'll be needing to be mindful of. A large majority of the points is going to be coming from engagement with war, but as well making sure that you're using alliance credits per day. Now, funny enough, the math is actually really good. This is overall a really good and easy event for you guys to partake in, but remember, there's actually going to be a leaderboard tied back to this event as well. So the better you do, the better rewards here. There's actually even Thanos endgame diamonds at the very top of the totem pole, but obviously with us being free to play, we're probably not going to have a chance of getting those. But in the meantime, we will try to do as best as we can to take advantage of the ISO-8 purple materials that they have, including radioactive treats. There's the purple ISO ions in addition to even additional materials and resources that we can try to get ahead on. So as per usual, guys, if you take a look at this on the blog post, this is how you're gonna be scoring, right? They give us a really good summary here. Essentially, you have to use Annihilator characters in Alliance more. Now, the good news is that, obviously we have 3 matches per week, so you actually only need to do 5 battles throughout the week, and then you're actually going to be able to maximize on the points here. So we'll do that math here in a little bit. I also want to point out too, remember that this is also tied back to a monthly event, right? You want to be aiming for the Twilight Sword item. That's going to give you a sizable bonus of points, adding back to the Annihilator Initiative monthly event, and as well those little cosmic powers that have been trickling here and there. Now, you can see here, this is the main milestone event that you'll see. Lots of information here, but just be mindful of the orange that you want to be focusing in on, which is the cosmic power, which adds to the monthly event, the radioactive treats that gives you more resources to purchase the ISO-8 purple from the store. The Twilight Sword is also located on milestone 13, as you see there. So lots and lots of information. We'll dissect this in a little bit here. I do want to just quickly scroll down and show you here the leaderboard and a couple of things, right? These leaderboards, if you guys have caught my video from last week, is that they have been getting worse and worse. And what I mean by that is they ramp up the rewards here in terms of diamonds, but in terms of ISO-8 credits, the ions, and as well as radioactive treats, we have been seeing them being decreased with each leaderboard. So I expect nothing less from this, because of the fact that the newer the event, the more generous they were, and now they are resulting in depreciating returns. So what does that mean for us free-to-play players that just want to compete? Well, I think a good balance is that top 5,000, top 7,500 or 10,000 range is a decent balance. Anything that gives you additional T3 level 1 ions, ISO-8 credits, and radioactive treats. So basically anything within the top 5 to 10,000 I think is worth going for, because after that, you're not getting much. You're getting some radioactive treats, but you're getting 0 ISO-8 orbs. You're getting 0 ions. I think that's going to be the focus here for a lot of folks. The Old Grudges web milestone. So you have to make sure you're going into the web milestone each day and doing this, but this is just an easy one. Alliance credits, and the points here actually do add back to the old enemies, which is why I like pointing this out first, because it's a simpler chart here to look at. There's some gold, and as well those old enemies milestone points that we've alluded to. Guys, I can't understate this enough. This is going to add 50,000 points to the overall milestone. So you have to make sure you're doing this one. This is more than half of what you need to actually hit the Twilight Sword. Hence, this is a super easy event, but you need to make sure that you're going through the MarvelStrikeForce.com website, logging in, going to the web milestone, and making sure you claim this every day, because that way it's going to be adding some significant amount of points. And as you can see, it's for 7 days. So you really only have to do this a couple times throughout the week. You don't have to check every day, but just make sure you know how to do this, because 50,000 points, that's more than half of what you need. Now, if I scroll back up to the top here, and again, this is going to be working well for folks that already have Gladiator, Gore, or Thanos endgame at 5 stars and above, because you can see you're going to be getting some extra boost in points here. But for my analysis and math, as per usual, I'm assuming that we're 100% free to play, and for that reason we always exclude these additional bonuses. So we're just going to be using the illumination orb fragments from Pocket Dimension. We're going to be using the annihilators in war bonus points, and as well power cores, and if you are planning to use the old enemies milestone, that's obviously, like I said, adds up 50,000 points in total, which is pretty sizable. So how does this look now that we have a good overview of what's happening with the 2 events, and as well being mindful of where you want to land in the leaderboard? This is my summary sheet right here. I actually did not include any points here for Shattered Dimension or the Pocket Dimension, because to be honest, you don't need to. You don't need it to actually hit what you need to target for this event, which is why this is a super easy event, but I can't promise that this is going to place you in the top 10,000 leaderboard, because everyone's going to be able to hit this without even trying. So War with Annihilators, apologies, that should be 6,000 per, but you only need to do 5 battles and it's going to give you 30,000 points. Free Claim, from what we've seen in the past, typically is about 3,500 points per. And I also excluded power cores because I wanted to illustrate for you guys that you don't need to be using any power cores here at all. And then as well, the 50,000 points from the web milestone gives you 83,500. That is actually enough to land you the milestone 13, which is the 83,000 points for the Twilight Sword. Now, I do want to point out, because power cores is 2 points per, and we don't know what pocket dimensions or shattered dimension points is going to look like, I added the next 2 milestones because I do believe that it's going to be easy to hit both of these, especially if you guys are like myself right now and you're planning to wait for power cores on Monday to unlock Thanos. If you think about it, even if you spend about 5,000 power cores, that's going to amount to an additional 10,000 points. So it's pretty easy to actually increase this milestone. But be mindful of the fact that it's a leaderboard. Everyone's going to be competing, including the Krakens, including the whales. So just food for thought. But I think milestone 14, milestone 15 is definitely something you should be aiming for, even if you're free to play and you're just trying to squeeze out more, because 103,000 points, you're getting some additional radioactive treats, as you can see. That's going to help you get some more ISO-8 purple crystals. 129,000 points, which is 45,000 more than the milestone 13. It does give you an extra 50,000 radioactive treats. So each and every bit helps, but at the end of the day, it's really going to be dependent on number one, do you have power core reserves that you can utilize to unlock Thanos? That's why I've been preaching for the last week and so to horde cores. Thanos endgame is the most important Annihilator character out of the 3, in my honest opinion. So you definitely want to be taking advantage of that for sure. You'll be getting more. I also want to point out here, ladies and gentlemen, that don't forget the ISO-8 purple, all these radioactive treats being utilized. This is going to help in your Dark Dimension 8 progress ultimately to unlock Odin, right? So there is going to be a grand plan here overall. And as well, I'm surprised I didn't touch on this in the blog post here, actually, because so there wasn't as much detail on this blog, but it says here, keep your eyes open for the Shattered Dimension in a future blog. Well, it must be coming out the next day or two, or maybe it'll be out by the time I release this video. But remember, this event is also going to have a standalone diamond, right? And it's actually Gladiator diamonds being unlocked. And remember, you actually need Gear Tier 18 Annihilator or Illuminati characters, but Illuminati is going to be the main required one for the majority of the nodes. So you know what? I'll link my video below for that preparation, in case you guys missed that video on the details there. But you do need both Illuminati and potentially Annihilator if you want to get through it easier, as they've ramped up the difficulty. And it looks like they just want to create that balance between folks that can access as much as they can and push, but as well also with it having a bit of a challenge to it, so that way you can't just hit auto and expect the victory right there and then. So there you guys have it. Overall, a really easy event for the next 7 days here. Everyone's gonna be able to hit the monthly event for the Twilight Sword, but at this point then, it's really a question of how much power cores do you want to utilize for the next week, in addition to did you have access to characters that were 5 stars and above, maybe from some good RNG from the orbs? I know personally I got that really big Gladiator drop, so that's going to help me for sure. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what your game plan is. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.